I don't know about you. I can't get enough of that beautiful voice. We're only doing that again because a couple of you have been emailing me right after we bumped out of the last segment with her Mary Poppins thing on disinformation and all of that, that we thought we'd play it again because it's obviously not being received well by people who said, this is the person you want to put in charge of a disinformation board that might be a little big brotherish and could be a whole lot difficult pill to swallow, like a spoonful of sugar, which is generally not difficult to swallow. And a lot of people are just saying enough already. I think Gianna Caldwell is in the latter group. He joins us right now. He has a popular podcast, political analyst. He's going to be co-hosting the big Saturday show today. He's a busy guy. I knew him when he was never a nobody, but now his people have people when we book him. Gianna, good to see you, my friend. What do you make of this? A disinformation board, and this is the woman to run it.
That's it. I mean, you see the video and you see some of her tweets and you realize that this is not a woman with the kind of gravitas in which you would want to handle a board like this. Not only that, who puts the folks in the White House, which we've known through even the press reporting, that lie. You see Joe Biden said he was going to stamp out the virus, meaning COVID. That didn't happen. He said he was going to have an orderly withdrawal from Afghanistan and leave no Americans behind. That didn't happen. There's been a number of things that have happened within this administration that they've put out disinformation themselves. So why should we believe that? I don't think that this is the right time for this kind of situation.
I just wonder how far it goes. You know, if you think about it, the idea of such a board, they didn't call it a disinformation board, but under the Trump administration was an entity to sort of police stuff that would lies, you know. And I always argue, be careful what you wish for, because someone else might take your same baton and take an entirely new direction. What do you mean of the government having any role in what you hear over the airwaves or the accuracy of it? And who polices what's said and done?
Well, Neil, I don't trust the government to be honest in just about any case. And that's a pretty harsh reality that many Americans also feel. Now, the truth of the matter is that one man said that to have the government as a custodian of truth is like having Brinks hiring a safecracker to be their driver. I mean, what could go wrong, right? And now that we see that Elon Musk is now going to make Twitter a real free speech paradise, the government wants to get involved because all of a sudden information like the Hunter Biden story or any other story that may make them look bad will be online. And that's the same for conservatives as well. If there's conservatives that are lying or doing something inappropriate, those stories which already live on the site and they don't censor those stories would be out there. So we need to be in a place where we can get the truth. We need to let the press do their job and report the facts, and hopefully they will. And we need to understand what is really going on in our country, because there's a lot of chaos going on that's being hidden. And we see people like Twitter, folks like that run Twitter right now, big tech in general, that continue to censor and ban the truth from coming out if it makes one party looks bad over the other. And obviously we're talking about Democrats in this case.
You know, Elon Musk had said, for those who try to label him, that he will tick off conservatives, he'll tick off liberals, but he's open to hearing from both sides. So how will conservatives react to the first time he says something that they don't like?
I think he said some things that they don't like already, and that's fine because we believe in freedom of speech. People are entitled to their opinions, and conservatives just want an even playing field, and we've not seen that in quite a while.
I always wonder about that, Jenna, because I know liberals say the same thing and all, but I think everyone is so thin-skinned these days. You say something slightly that doesn't agree with them, they come after you with knives. So
and you know what that feels like, Neil, because people come after you daily on things that you say.
You send me all these nasty emails. So I guess what I'm saying is, is he their savior? He strikes me as more libertarian, Gianna. And you've dealt with this yourself. I mean, you're very modest about it, but you have been attacked for positions. And I wonder in this day and age if he will find himself succumbing to that.
Yeah, and Neil, not only have I been attacked, the FBI reached out to me because someone tried to send a bomb to my house, interestingly enough. Wow. So, yeah, that I've been attacked. Many people have been attacked. I don't think Elon Musk is a savior for anyone. But at the same time, to allow voices to be heard that people disagree with is what Twitter was started for, to have differences of opinion shared, debated, and those debates have ended and has become one-party rule and effectively a tool for one party to get their message out and ensure that another party is censored and banned. So, yeah, there's going to be things that people disagree with, but that's what the country's all about. So we don't need to censor views that we disagree with. We need to hear them out, either agree or disagree, and move on.
Well, that's well put, my friend, well put. I joke with you, but that's one of the things I certainly enjoy about you because I think you're a straight shooter. You call it as you see it.
Thank you so much.
Where
I
other
really
ticks
appreciate
off
that.
people as well. You'll get a chance, you folks at home, to see that again up close and personal for yourself, 5 p.m. today. Gianno is co-hosting the Big Saturday show.
Today and tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow. So, well, of course, if you botch it today, there is no tomorrow. So don't get ahead of yourself. All right, Gianno, always good seeing you, my friend. Thank you very, very much.
Always good to be with you, Neil.